Okay, we are live. This is session number, I don't know.
I still don't know. I think it's about half an hour, 6, I think, or 6 or 7. Or
I
one
know,
of
we've
them.
been jumping on. By the way, our guest speaker for the next one is going to be Jin Cho. And just a quick brief before he jumps into his awesome presentation. I knew Jin 2.5 years ago when I first enrolled into Charles Gregory's DMC's online digital marketing course, and he was one of the trainers there. And, eventually we became friends because when you know somebody knows a lot of stuff, you better be friends with them, otherwise you'll never get. So, and subsequently he has gone out and started his own, you call it yourself an agency?
Yeah, I do still call myself an agency. Sounds nicer that way.
Okay. So he started his agency work and, and we reconnected after a while. And when we had him on the guest, he shared about funnels, which is something interesting. A lot of people was asking about it. And today, we would like him to speak specifically about lead gen. And I think everybody who is in business know generating leads is not something that is easy, but it's very important for the business. So without further ado, my friend and great trainer, Jin, you have the stage now.
All right, cool. So good afternoon, everybody. Jason, Andrew, and also Manfred, thanks so much for having me over onto this session. Now, my session today is going to be covering on the topic lead generation with paid ads review. So I'm going to be reviewing a little bit of the behind the scenes work that I do and some thought process that I incorporate into my work so that I do get the results for my clients and actually help them bring in the business that they are truly looking for. Now, this is just going to be a little bit of something I took out from Wikipedia, that the meaning of lead generation in this case is going to be about the initiation of your consumers' interest or inquiries into the products and or services of a business that is offered. In other words, the role of lead generation is to make people, number one, interested, number two, inquire into the things that you have. All right, so that's the first key that comes into play in order for you to get for them to get to know you and start to build up the whole relationship business. I believe if you've been hearing about all the great speakers that have been sharing all the works previously, like what Gerard is talking about, just posting things online, like what Balkis was sharing, putting up your best, focusing into the character and putting up your best to let people see you and also fall in love with what you have presented. Now, when you talk about lead generation, right, they're going to be four. Actually, it's going to be 2 by 2, all right? So the first thing over here, of course, is going to be online or offline. Now, clearly, I am very much an online person, so we are not going to be talking much about the offline world. But the thing over here is that in the online world, we have the organic strategies and we have the paid ads strategies. Now, what's the main difference between organic and paid ad? Well, the first thing that you can see over here is going to be the pictures that illustrates the screen. One, it's paid ads, you need to use money. And organic-wise is going to be you using up your connections, your networks, your friends, assets that you have that can actually publish your work. That's the route of going organically. Now, here's the thing. In today's context, we won't be talking about why we need to do lead generations online. All right. Our fellow Malaysian friends, we are now currently the hottest thing that's going on in all the WhatsApp groups is going to be, is the lockdown going to be extended? So if the lockdown is extended or if it's still maintaining status quo or things like that, we know that if you go out on the streets today, what will happen to you? You know, I know. All right. So we're not going to talk about why do we need to do things online anymore. It's going to be the way of life. In fact, it has been a way of life. You go and talk to even the aunties in the market, what will they say? Oh, you sell this, go online lah. Cool. We had a lot of speakers share about what are the online strategies and things like that. So, I'm not going to be hovering too much about that. Now, my topic today talks about paid ads. And why am I focusing into the paid ads when everyone is talking about, Jin, I need to cut costs. We need to think about how we can lower our operations costs in order for us to stay sustainable for the next few months or until things change over. Now, this picture over here that I actually took out from the website Crazy Egg basically illustrates my main point over here. If you have ever done business, if you ever created a Facebook business page, an Instagram business page per se, you will notice that most of the time when you post things, this is the picture that you see. Basically nothing, right? 94% of people out there will not see your page. That's the thing. Even if you have 1,000 followers, or even like what my students will normally say, hey Jin, why don't I just buy more likes and get more people to like my page? Then they will see all my content. Sorry, doesn't happen that way anymore already. In today's context, Facebook likes unfortunately serves more of a cosmetics than having actual real life practical use in a business context. Now, having said that, I would like to also emphasize that don't get me wrong by saying that you don't need to have any likes. If you are a business that has already been around for maybe 5-10 years and you have 0 page likes, number one, people will think that this page don't know whether is it a counterfeit page of the brand, and then they try to scam you and things like that. Okay, so getting page likes is important, but that is not going to be the main focus that we have over today. And if you're looking into back in 2014, if your page has 1,000 likes, congratulations. Whatever you post on your page, you will at least get a good 50 to 100 interactions with them naturally. But in today's context, how do these social media networks, or how does the internet make money most of the time? It's by using by encouraging people to advertise, and that's where their main profit model comes in. So if you're talking about business pages, and you're hoping that if you post things online that people can see you organically, I can only tell you this: praying would be a very good idea, but clearly each one of us have different religious beliefs, which also I'm not going to talk about that part. So I want to talk over here is that for business pages, advertisements is the way to go. Now, on the flip side, if you're talking about your own personal profile where you have your friends and things like that, now that one, the organic reach is going to be very high also. All right. So it's good for you to also be active on your personal page, because let's look at it this way. In most of the cases, it's important for the business owner themselves to have a particular presence in the market, so that people will know that, like for example, Andrew always talks about email marketing, and he is the email king as far as I know. Jason is the Facebook Facebook expert. He talks passionately about Facebook on his personal profile. Do note that the organic followings from there will spill over to your business. Hey, that's only the natural progression. But if you're talking about your Facebook business page, then you have no choice. You have some choices, but I'll highly recommend you think things in a faster pace by using advertisements. Now, how do I actually do my ads for my clients? I would use this VCO framework that I have illustrated over here. You want to visualize, you want to curate, and the most important thing over here is you have to think about optimization as well. Yes, I know VCO would represent virgin coconut oil as well, but that would also mean that it's good for you. All right. Yeah, that's how the two things are trying to connect it together. So
never thought about that though. never thought about that.
Yeah, I was debating whether between VOC and VCO, but my chemistry friends all tell me if you put VOC, they'll think of you as turpentine. So better not do it that way.
Not good. Not good. Yes.
Yeah. So the first V, visualize. I always tell my clients, visualize your customers. And what does it mean? If possible, you want to put a face to your customers. In today, all of the speakers before me, if you notice that they actually talk heavily about one thing. Who are your customers? What do they do? Who are they? Where do they hang out? What do they do? How do they do the things? What is the struggles that they have? And things like this. Now, why do we want to do this? Is because a lot of my students will always tell me this when I ask this question. Hey, Peter, who is your customer? And Peter will very proudly say, Jin, I'm going online. So all of my customers are everyone who is living, breathing, and using Facebook. I will only say this. Congratulations. You don't need you can stop here. The class has ended already.
Yeah. And that's 3.9 billion people in the world.
Yeah, correct. In terms of Facebook users, it's 3.9 billion. That's the official number.
Yes.
The unofficial number, in fact, if you factor in those kids who are, hijacking their parents' passcodes and just going in to see things, adds probably another 2 more billions inside there. My daughter already know to crack my passcode. So I really lazy to go and put a different code, just to make her find it hard.
You better be
But-
careful, or she may put you on Shopee for sale.
That one, luckily she has not done that yet, but she's
Yeah.
now learning how to do. Her aspiration now is to be a YouTube influencer. Well, a lot of kids
that's
are doing
good.
that.
That's good.
And yesterday she was teaching me how to do influencer posts. I'm like, I have no clue. And then I had a 1 hour schooling from her, more like scolding her, but okay, sorry, sidetrack. Now, I know that, this is very boring. Jane, who doesn't know the 4 wife, 1 husband story, Can you teach me something a little bit more unique? So, all right, let's go a little bit deeper, shall we? And when I say deeper, right, I want you to start to look into these few things. Number 1, I've already mentioned that you want to put a picture to your customer. Who are they? If you've ever read Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets, there's one story about this marketing company that has this profile called Jane. And when his team was actually doing the presentation, the marketing people would just keep on asking each other, hey, would Jane buy this? Would Jane buy that? What is Jane's concern? And things like that, which made Russell feel like, what in the world is going on? But here's exactly the thing. If you try to look into Facebook, all right, number 1, Facebook actually what they do is that they will show you information that is relevant to you, that Facebook things that you like and things like this. And the most popular trending thing I suddenly started seeing yesterday was this video about this girl on America's Got Talent. Andrew, I'm pretty sure that you've watched that already.
Oh, yes.
About the girl that has this now very famous quote, you can't wait until life is not hard anymore to be happy. Something along those lines.
Yep.
Now, why is that video so attractive? That makes people, so passionately sharing about it, going to her blog and see what does she write, finding the songs that she reads. Because a lot of things that she is sharing makes people aspire to adopt her character, to adopt her spirit. In fact, if you think about it, what makes people happy? What makes people happy is that when she sees her, a cancer patient who is still struggling with cancer, coming onto the stage to sing a song about it's okay. It makes her happy. Clearly, you will see her smile. It makes Simon speechless, which doesn't happen all the time, and his golden buzzers are great. But most importantly, audiences like things like this. See, what makes people happy triggers them. If you see a post, like if I were to just make a post on Facebook, okay, this is a glass cup. The glass cup can fill 300 ml of water, and the water inside here is filtered using, I don't know, maybe like a spritzer water. Yeah. Does that solve anything? I'm just sharing with you, what I just had for maybe my lunch. It has no story. There's nothing that actually triggers you. If you just look back into Facebook, right? Since we're talking about Facebook, just on your feed, every 4th post or the 5th post is going to be an advertisement. And if you look at the advertisements and there's nothing about the advertisement, right, that triggers things that make you happy or things that make you angry, will you stop and look at it? You won't. So similarly, as a lead generation specialist, what we always want to look into is that we know as a business owner, your product is great. Your product may be the next best thing since electricity and washing machines are developed. Yes, to me, these 2 things are very important. Okay, 3rd one is going to be, water supply. Without these 3 things, sorry, I don't know how to live already. Anyway, coming back over here, it's going to be, we want to always invoke these emotions in people so that we will be able to know that we can actually relate your products, your services to these things that they have. You have a problem, you have a solution, join them together. These are the things that will actually make people attracted. So on top of the 4 husbands and 1 wife analogy, it's the other way around, the 4 wives and 1 husband, you want to also look into these 4 points. And this, when you combine them together, gives you a proper customer avatar. Or in other words, a customer profile. And then the next question is that, does it mean that I can only market to this group of people? Well, we all have our natural primary audience. Like for me, I know that my audience are people between the age of 25 and 40. This is my natural sweet spot. Can I go for people above 40? Yes. That would be my secondary avatar that I will need to prepare a different set of marketing materials that will work for them. All right. So this is the deeper level that I want to talk to you about. Now, here's the thing. If you really feel that, okay, Jin, market research, I really don't know what can be done. Here's the thing that I want to share that Facebook has actually done for you. In Facebook, if you go into the link that I actually mentioned down there, but inside your profile is going to be under settings, your privacy settings, under ads, you will see something like this. Facebook has actually accumulated a lot of things that you're interested in, or Facebook things that you're interested in. So if you want to tell, if you want to tell the agencies that you hire, say that I don't want to do custom avatar, I want you to find people who are like me. Well, congratulations. This is going to be a treasure trove that you will be able to find inside there. Of course, is it 100% accurate? The answer is no. Especially with all the iOS things going on in terms of privacy and things like that, its accuracy would be probably at 70%. That is the reason why Facebook thinks that I'm interested in nose hair. Don't ask me why, I have no clue. But the fact is that there's still 70% worth of information that is relevant, down to things that I like, people I follow, entrepreneurs that inspire me, different interest categories that Facebook thinks that is going to be relevant to me. So these are some of the information treasure troves that I would highly recommend you to look into as you're building up your customer's profile. Now, next thing over here, talking about visualizing already, you already know now who you're trying to market to and select one audience to start with. Can you go for everyone else? Yes, but please select the right stuff for the right people at the right place. Very, very important. Now, when we come to talk about paid advertising, right, of course, there are a lot of places that you can choose from. You can go on Facebook, you can go on Instagram, which, by the way, Facebook owns Instagram. Just want to put that out. You can go for Google, you can go for LinkedIn. Now, the standard approach when it comes to selecting all this is going to be if you're actually offering a more B2B situation, where in a business, if you're looking for business resources, you will go to Google, pub. Okay, so it's more B2B in this context. Of course, under Google, we have display, we have search, we have YouTube advertising. Now, if you're talking about trying to find a more B2C, a B2C scenario, then yes, you may want to consider YouTube ads as part of your advertising arsenal. Now, in most cases, the very fact that we have to understand is advertising costs money. So if you have the budget to go, yes, please go for more than one platform. But if you're wondering that, okay, I have limited budget and I want to know where should I be spending with. If you've never done anything before, well, my gravitation will point towards Facebook and Instagram, because these are the places that, trust me, MCO or non-MCO, whenever someone goes in the toilet, they hold their phone, that's what they're going to be on. So will you be getting people? Yes, definitely. So here's the part that I really, really want to emphasize. Advertising, right? The first thing you have to do is you have to create a process flow. Now, I'm not talking about drawing those schematic diagrams that engineers go crazy about. I'm talking about as simple as this. Most people will think that, oh, I want to create an advertisement that brings in conversions. Great. People will see the advertisement on Facebook, on Instagram, on articles and things like that. Facebook advertisement goes very, very wide. The challenge that I want to add on, which a lot of people are not talking about, is what is the process that someone will experience after they click on your advertisement. Okay, let me repeat again. What is the process that someone will go through after they click on your advertisement? Now, why do I ask you this question? Is because first thing to address, the most important question that people ask is that, hey, Gina, do I need a website? If you have the technical skills and the know-how, yes, I would highly recommend you to actually bring people to a website after they click on your advertisement. But there will also be the situation that I don't want to invest in a website at the moment. Can I just run ads pointing to messengers and things like that? The answer is yes. In fact, you can even point your advertisement to WhatsApp if you want to. But just remember, you have to use WhatsApp for Business. But the point over here is this. If I see your ad is very June, but I click onto it, right, and only it leads to one message, hi, how can I help you? and your customer actually says that, okay, I want to find out more information, and there's crickets. The person will just see that, okay, I just leave a message there. If you come back to me in the next 10 minutes, I will explore further with you. But if you don't, then, adios amigos, sayonara, that's about it. People's attention span is really, really super short. In fact, if you try to message someone and if they don't reply in the next 30 minutes, maybe an hour, chances are you may even forget that your friend has already messaged you, or you have messaged your friend, and life goes on from there. So important thing is that what happens after the ad? Where do you bring them to? What do you do to them? What do you tell them that they can expect after engaging with the advertisement? Second thing, keep your creatives short. Regardless if you're using videos, if you're using graphics, if you're using text. In most cases, text is a must. Videos or graphics, that's really an optional situation. Now, I'm giving a very, very conservative estimation that you want to keep your content under 2 minutes. Now, why 2 minutes? The very first reason is because if you want your advertisements to appear on Instagram, your video cannot be longer than 2 minutes. Longer than 2 minutes, it will just chop, or it will just not even show on Instagram. So 2 minutes is the reference. In a very strict scenario, 1.5 minutes, that's the ideal length that you want to go for. Okay? Now, another thing about this 2-minute rule is going to be this. The purpose of an advertisement is not to sell people on the spot. Remember, right from the first slide, lead generation is about building up the interest that leads to the inquiry. If you try to sell people all your features, your benefits, your products, your dimensions, and all the things in the advertisement itself, number one, it's going to be longer than 30 minutes. Number two, people will look halfway and it's like, okay, this is really cool. Let me just save this advertisement or bookmark this advertisement and I'll come back to you, and they will never come back. So 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, that's enough for them to interest them to see, oh, okay, cool. Let's go to the next step. And your sales process have to take over there in order to capture this lead and make them leave their information. Number 3, please do not use the boost post. I know Facebook has made it really simple, is that, as long as you press this little blue button, your post will be able to reach 3,000 people after spending only 5 ringgit. Now, marketers will tell you do not use the boost post. Let me tell you why you don't want to use the boost post. Does this look familiar to any of you? This is what we call a spinning wheel, or sometimes, a wheel of fortune or something like this. Now, what does this thing do? It basically, you have all the items and you want to spin and just try your luck to go and see that what will it fall under. So what Facebook essentially do is that when you're doing a boosting post, right, Facebook actually has 12 objectives that you can choose from for your advertisement to work, be it a conversion, be it an engagement, be it a reach, be it a messenger or video view. So based on whatever text that you have, Facebook will make a decision for you to say that, okay, this is probably going to work the best for your campaign. In essence, but your intention is that I want Facebook, I want people to come and fill out forms on, but they will send people who like to go there and just engage with you, or maybe just go there and just visit your page and then go off. So that's the main reason why boost post is not in fact not the option that you should even consider, even if you're new, right? Please do not use boost post. My initial headline was I wanted to plead to you, but I'll just tell you that this is the key tip. If you want to donate money to the Zuckerberg Fund, yeah, go ahead and use boost. The only boost I recommend to you is number 1, boost juice. Number 2, boost app. Number 3, okay, there's no number 3. Look back to 1 and 2. Okay, those are the only 2 boosts that you should be using. The place that we would always use for, of course, is called the Ads Manager. Is it a bit complicated? Yes. But is it worth it? Yes, very much so. All right. So we talked about curating, meaning to say that find out the best information, optimizing things in a way that you have, and most importantly, create the process. Now, the last part of the VCO is going to be the O, which is coming to optimizing. Over here, I want to emphasize, you want to check your stats. In digital advertising, the best thing about it is what has happened in the last day, or maybe even the last 2 hours, you can see. So The next part over here in terms of optimizing is that you want to make small changes one step at a time. Of course, the caveat over here is that the budget that you're doing with, it's not a very huge budget. Like if you have a marketing budget of 30,000, then you want to make many changes, but still small steps at a time. All right. Now, in terms of stats that I look into, these stats over here, let me just put it out first. It's primarily looking into Facebook, but if you look into other advertising platforms, they will be more or less abang adik. You will see the same things over here. So number one, of course, we want to know conversions. Conversions in this case, I'm doing lead generation. I want to see whether do the leads actually come in or not. If I have everything set up nicely, my ad is super cool, my page is super cool, but no leads, I need to go back into my process and see what exactly went wrong. So how do you know that whether is it a website problem or is it an advertisement problem? The next 4 points over here is going to let you know, give you a clue to how to do the investigations. Now, we always have 2 parts. One is impression and one is reach. Impression just tells you that how many times your advertisement had actually had the opportunity to be seen by people. Okay, that's impression. I have a first impression of you. Now, when it comes to reach, the person after seeing your advertisement actually interacts with your advertisement. Sometimes it could be as simple as stopping for 2-3 seconds to see before scrolling out to another place. So I would like to see what is the difference of the numbers between the two. Impression will always be bigger than reach. There's no 2 ways about this. But the thing is that if your advertisement has a very poor impression to reach, so it's like maybe 100 impressions, you only get 30 reach, then clearly there's something about your ad that needs to be looked into. Now, second thing I'll look into is going to be link clicks. People see your ad, people stop and look at your ad is one thing. People click or not is the second thing you want to see. So I can like your ad, but there's nothing really encouraging me to click onto it. So, if that happens, then you have to look back into what we call your call to action on your ads. Did you tell people to click onto the button or not? Did you make the button interesting enough for people to click or not? Did you accidentally hide or remove the button that people don't know where to go or not? These are some things that you want to look into. And if you do have a website, okay, if people click on your ads, they go to a website, this is something that you must look into also, the landing page view. Now, what is this landing page view thing? It basically means for someone who saw your ad, click onto your ad, do they actually go to the page or not? Now, there are many, many reasons to what can affect this page view. Number one, the internet that they have. Maybe they are living on 2G. Well, that's going to be a problem. Next thing, your page. Does your page load very fast or does it load very slow? This is going to be more about page speed optimization, which is going to be out of the topics. I won't be commenting on this. But what you really want to see is that from people seeing your ad, responding to your ad, and clicking onto it to going to your page, you have to make sure that this flow is actually good. All right? Which brings us to the next one is going to be the click-through rate. Click-through rate over here is related to the clicks, which means that of X number of people who see your ads, how many of them actually click into it? The rule of thumb, I always look into 1%. You'll be like, Jin, are you kidding me? 1%. Trust me, we are talking about humans with attention spans of less than 10 seconds to something. So I will always use 1% as the first benchmark. If my ad doesn't even touch the 1%, well, I will know that it's time for me to re-look into whatever I have in my offer. Am I touching onto the right points? Did I address their pains? Did I address their frustrations? Did something that I have, is it possible to make them happy? You have to look back into all these things. Then the last thing over here is that there is the video view duration. If we have a very good advertisement that people just see for 15 seconds and straight away they click to go to my ad, well, then I'm really happy about it. But if I have a 90-second video, they're not clicking onto my ads and they're only watching 5 seconds of my video. I need to know this information still to know that, okay, something about my video is not working. Let's change things around and see what works. All right? So these are the 3 processes that I usually do when it comes to my clients, how we can actually work around their lead generation campaigns. So we talked about the V, which is about visualize. Know your customer, know what are their preferences. Try to understand them a little bit to an extent of being a stalker, but please don't really go and stalk them. Number 2, curation. Choose the right platform, choose the right images, the right text, the right videos, and make sure that in the advertising world, please be compliant. On your profile, you can write anything that you want, but on the advertisement world, there are things that you have to look into, right? And number 3, it's always about optimizing. You want to make sure that you look back into your stats every 2 days and then after make adjustments to it. There are people who run ads after a whole month, they look back and go, things are not working. Yeah, of course, because you've let it stay there for 1 whole month without responding to it, naturally you're going to be in trouble. All right? Yeah, so these are the things that I would do behind the paid advertisement scenes.
Awesome, Jin. Awesome. Okay, we have a question for you from Eloise Shujun. Hi, Jin. If RM 5 ringgit per day to just reach a small size of audience, perhaps within KL, with reach objectives, would it be under budget and make my ad not running?
Okay. Eloise, I don't know if it should be Eloise or Elise. So sorry.
Eloise.
Eloise. Okay. Okay, I'll just call you Shujun.
Let's do Shujun. Yes.
Okay, so Shujun, to your question, right, is 5 ringgit a day sufficient? Now, if your objective is only talking about reach, then you can pretty much use that objective, because when it comes to reach campaigns, the cost, we have this matrix called the CPM. The cost per 1,000 impression is actually fairly low. Would you be able to reach a very big audience with 5 ringgit? No. Would you be able to reach audiences? Yes. All right. So that's definitely something that can be done. The only thing that I want to ask you is going to be the purpose of this campaign when you're selecting the reach objective. What are you trying to achieve? Because reach, the function of reach is just for you to reach out to as many people as possible in the smallest amount of money.
It's just like distributing pamphlets and all the things.
Yeah, just like distributing pamphlets, but this time you're doing it digitally. So that's what the reach objective is doing. If your purpose is going to be for lead generation, then this may not be the best objective for you to choose from.
Okay. Shujun, I hope Jin has answered your questions. I just want to touch back regarding your section on curation. You had three key points. One is basically the customer, that journey itself. The creative process flow. Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to add in, look into the analogy of a physical world. Let's say you're checking the hotel, which is something that we have not done for more than a year plus already. But anyway.
They're crying too.
So you go into the hotel entrance. Then you have the doorman. He's going to open the door for you. So that's the first process. Okay, he's going to give you an impression, welcome you. And then they're going to lead to either you go to the restaurant or you want to, let's say, for example, you want to check into a room, for example. So somebody would either lead you to your reception. Okay, so that's this handover. I'm talking about the idea of handover. So from the doorman, hand over to the reception. So when the receptionist has basically checked you in, done your payment and all those stuff, they would then hand over to basically either the bellboy to help you take your luggage and then take you to the room. All right. So the moment you enter your room, the bellboy will drop the luggage and everything, introduce your hotel and tell you basically your room, what are the things, where they are, and then that's it. Now the follow-up process is if you need anything, you then call there's this number that you call for room service. Right. Now if you look at this process, the customer experience in the digital world is the same. When I see an ad, what happens? If I click on it, when I either go a landing page or I go to a messenger or whatever it is, you need to think about the handover to the point that they're ready to buy. That means you enter the room, okay? So the moment you've entered the room, becoming a customer already, what happens after that? That's where you have your room service, somebody to call either security or whatever it is to fix your room. That is support, okay? So if you run ads or you design your entire ad system according to this handover, then you have a process flow that is very seamless and is guaranteed to give your prospect, which is now your customer, a good experience. The second thing is when you talk about your ads are not going to sell, that is very, very true. Your ads are not supposed to sell. It is in a world where attention is a scarcity because there's just too many people shouting. Your ads is supposed to filter interest. That means if somebody is interested in your ad. Now, for example, now we have like 200 plus people on this group, and 16 of them are basically watching your session, right? That means if 16 people are interested in Facebook ads. Nothing wrong with that. So your ads is supposed to filter the audience so that if they take action, and these are the people that you want to talk to. And finally, I think, do not use the boost post. I think that's pretty obvious, like Jin mentioned, if you want to contribute to Mr. Zuckerberg's fund, by all means, but there are proper ways of doing it. Make sense, Jin?
Very much so. I really love the hotel analogy that goes into it. In fact, talking about that, when Newer Hotel just opened, the one in just next to Paradigm Mall, right? So I actually, on the day that they opened, maybe it was about 2-3 days now, I actually went over there, right? And I had seriously no intention to stay. But New Hotel, so just go in and just find out what's happening about. And the front desk people, right, were so cool that in order for them to leave a good impression, they even offered me this. Hey, Mr. Jin, would you be interested to go and take a look at the rooms? Now, no hotel has ever done such a thing to me before, especially, I don't even want to say that. But They actually asked me, do you want to just go and take a look? Since we are new, all things is nice. Now, in terms of lead generation, right, that was a very, very good follow-up thing that they actually did for me. Which after that, I see the room, I'm happy already. Then, okay, sir, you can actually fill up this form so that when we have promotions, we can send over to you. The good thing is, even though they didn't get me, they got my daughter. So my daughter, at every opportunity, I say, Papa, can we go and stay in Newer Hotel? I tell her we are staying in PJ. Are you serious? But yeah, even until today, she has been asking me whether can we go stay there or not.
Right.
So yeah, that's just something I want to share, that try to translate that process into your advertisement flow as well. Yep. It's not about just creating the ad. The ad is just one element. But what happens after that? That's the goal.
Yep. Because if you notice in digital advertising or digital marketing, a lot of things mirrors your real life interaction. When you go organic, so you have paid. Now, as far as Jin is concerned, you have a choice of pay to play, which is paying, or you go organic. Now, organic, although it's free, but it requires a lot of effort for you to reach out to people to build that connection. Okay, and so that's the payoff. So that's the trade-off. Whereas when you run ads, you can then decide roughly or tell Facebook, these are the people or audience that I may want to talk to. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I want to target these people, or I want to decide which country, which locality, and all those things. So that gives you the speed, but obviously in return for speed, you need to pay. So that balance of pull and push between organic and paid has to then go back to your decision. Same thing like Jin mentioned earlier. What is your objective? Right? The objective would determine whether you use a reach campaign, will you use a lead generation campaign, or will you use a conversion campaign. So all this goes back to same thing as in when you meet a person, what is your objective? How you're going to introduce yourself, how you're going to build that follow-up, how you do the handover when somebody says, hey, I'd like to work with you. Then yes, talk to this guy. And this guy, make sure when it's done, talk to the other guy. And so that the entire experience is seamless, and you have a customer for as long as they would like to work with you. So talking about working with you, if they are interested to basically know more about your services, and if they need help, Jin, how do they reach you?
Yeah, you can. Easiest thing is that I'm on Facebook quite actively, so you can just go to Facebook and search for my name, Jin Chow. Then after that, you will be able to connect with me. So my profile photo, I think I'm sitting over here smiling on. That's the one.
You want to share on the chat so that I can post it into the group? Let me see. Yeah. Just share that link.
Yeah. So this is my link. Now,
okay.
Small thing to everybody. In Facebook, you have the opportunity to actually claim your username. Now, you will know that my name is Jin Chow, but the link that Andrew will be posting up, it says CG Chow. Why that happened is because I realized that point too late, and someone else has taken away that name. So if you want to make sure that your profile is going to be not just spam proof, but very much recognizable, please claim your username as fast as possible. It's under your Facebook settings profile. Pick it up really. On LinkedIn, it's going to be Jin Chao as well. So it's GINNCHOU.
Okay, I'm posting this. Just a minute, please.
Thank you.
There you go. So, Jin, thank you so much. Awesome sharing. And I hope our audience here, you basically pick a thing or two. And if you want to work with Jin, or you want to get his advice, or you want to, basically run some ideas with him, you can catch him on his Facebook page, which is facebook.com/CG and, take it from there. Jin, once again, thank you so much. And we'll end this. And the next guest on the line is Caroline Asuncion. She's from Philippines, and she's going to talk about expanding to the Philippine markets, which is an interesting thing. I think it has gone live now. So if you want, you just need to refresh your Facebook group, and you should be able to see the live session that's ongoing after the one we have with Jin. So thank you so much, and have a good evening. Let's go to the next one. Jin, thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you so much, Andrew.
All right,
See you.
Cheers. All right.